A cosmic bond. Every time I looked up at the endless array of stars, I felt a pull. It was more than curiosity. It was a yearning passion that consumed me, fueling my dreams and aspirations. My name is Isaac. I'm a space explorer who is ambitious, starry-eyed, and always eager to uncover the mysteries of the universe. Life in space is grueling, yet invigorating. But nothing prepared me for the day I met Issac, my new partner, an alien from Proxima Centauri with teal scales, a toothy smile, and the most absurd sense of humor. He found amusement in the strangest of things. Human expressions, gravity, even the concept of waiting. Our pairing was unconventional, to say the least, a classic case of seriousness meeting downright clownery. Issac and I were assigned our first mission together, to chart the unexplored regions of the Andromeda Galaxy, a beautiful galaxy 2.5 million light-years away. Thanks to scientific advancements, getting there would be a piece of cake. As we boarded our spacecraft, anticipation and trepidation danced around me, a tug-of-war between my dreams and reality. The journey was surreal. Space was not just a void, but a canvas of cosmic poetry. Galaxies, nebulae, and otherworldly wonders. It's the only place nowadays where I actually feel alive. One day, during a routine asteroid field navigation, we lost control of the power and our communication link with Earth severed. We were lost. Confused, I looked out a side window. Terror filled my veins as my heart sank deeper than the Mariana Trench. An imposing abyss in the cosmic canvas, a wormhole loomed like a monstrous maw of celestial leviathan, a maelstrom of distorted starlight and inky darkness. Our ship was drifting toward the void, the relentless pull growing stronger and stronger. I looked at Issac helplessly. His arms were folded, and with a grin on his face, he said, "Wow, even space has an appetite." I was flabbergasted. How could he be clowning around in a situation like this? He has to be insane. Our view began distorting as we entered the wormhole. It was like surrendering to an all-consuming storm of space-time. There was a sensation of onslaught as reality started bending and light spinning and stretching. Our reality fractured into kaleidoscopic chaos. I tried looking outside from the hole only to see the universe outside warped into unrecognizable patterns, as if seeing through a twisted lens. Fear consumed me and I fell into unconsciousness. I woke up. "Rise and shine, sleeping beauty," said a familiar voice from the other side of the room. I looked up. It was Issac. We were still in the spaceship, alive, but there was a different atmosphere, a feeling of loneliness and vastness. "Where are we?" I asked. Issac started laughing hysterically. "Where do you think we are?" he said. "We're in space, my guy." It confirmed my hypothesis. Issac really was crazy. I looked out the window. No stars, no planets, no galaxies, not a single cosmo in sight. Utter darkness, pure isolation. Stranded in an unrecognizable region of space with a crazy alien until death. Now this was worse than hell. Desperation gnawed on me. I wanted to go home, but Issac, of course, was unfazed. He would tell me stories about Proximian constellations and space deities and crack jokes about black holes and quantum entanglement. I was baffled. How could he laugh when we were facing our demise? Over the coming weeks, I lived alone in the never-ending void of space, with no one to talk to but Issac, the space comedian. But there was one night, out of many, I found Issac gazing out of the spaceship into the dark abyss. There was sadness in his eyes. "You miss your home," I realized. He nodded, a rare solemnity replacing his usual mirth. He confessed how he joined the Space Explorers program to bridge the gap between our two races, to understand and be understood. I realized then that beneath all his jokes and pranks, he too felt the same fear and loneliness I did. We weren't so different after all. I began to give Issac a chance. Together we worked on our spacecraft, sharing stories, arguing over theories. I finally laughed at Issac's absurd humor, and slowly I began to see him not as an alien, but as a friend, a partner. There was a comfort in our camaraderie, a soothing balm against our ominous reality. As the darkness in space remained deeply and utterly dark, we waited and waited, not knowing how long it had been. It felt like years had passed. Yet we were still lost. Despite our circumstances, there was a strange happiness in our togetherness. Amid the celestial solitude, we found companionship, a brotherly love in our shared dreams, and joy in our joint mission. But space was unrelenting. Resources dwindled, and desperation crept back in. Zoc, who had become my anchor, now seemed helpless. One day, as we gazed out into the emptiness, he spoke quietly. "We can't control everything, Issac. Not in life, not in space. We can only control our reaction." His words lingered in the silence of the ship, resonating with a truth I hadn't realized before. I had been so caught up in the dream of space exploration that I hadn't prepared for the harsh realities that came with it. As the reality of our predicament sank in, I felt a deep sadness, but with it came a newfound resolve. I found myself smiling, much to Zoc's surprise. "You're right, Zoc. We can't control everything, but we can keep trying, and we can do it together." In our last-ditch effort, we decided to blow up half the ship in an effort to signal any possible galaxies nearby. We knew the chances were slim, but at this point, we had nothing left to lose. It felt like a shot in the dark. We gathered all the clothing and furniture we had on the ship, anything that would burn, and we stockpiled the engine room in the back of the ship. We drenched the room in star fuel, and then Zoc sparked up the room using his alien abilities. He rubbed his hands together so quickly, the friction from his scales created heat. With one quick brush of his hand, the room burst into flames. Fearing for our lives, we ran out of the room. Just in time, we sealed the hydraulic door. From the other side, we heard a loud boom! Through the window, we saw nothing but darkness as half of the spaceship was torn into space. We knew the explosion caused plenty of air leaks, so we sealed ourselves in the cockpit and prayed that we wouldn't lose any more oxygen. We weren't just fighting against the odds, we were fighting against the infinite. But we were in it together. Miraculously, it worked. As our ship was burning from the inside out, a dark, scaly creature appeared from the void. "A space dragon?" Zoc shouted in disbelief. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A literal space dragon came out of nowhere. In legend, space dragons were the guardians of the voids. It was believed that these creatures saved the ones who found themselves lost in space. I never thought the legend could have actually been true. But here we were staring at this magnificent creature, flying in circles around our burning, soon-to-be non-existent ship. The dragon roared. It reverberated throughout the ship and into our bones. As the dragon flew faster around our ship, the empty void around us began to fill with color. Being in the dark for so long made this new light blinding to our eyes. And just like that, space was ripped away from us as we materialized back in our own dimension. I felt a surge of joy, relief, and surprisingly gratitude as I faded away along with Zoc and the ship. Before I knew it, I awoke in a hospital bed. I was back on Earth. How? Has been the question I asked myself ever since. The magic was so divine. I would never forget those last moments of being rescued from the emptiness. I guess the most beautiful things in life are the most mysterious. We weren't the same two individuals who first ventured out into space. We had gone through emotion after emotion, experiencing despair after joy, fear after courage, anger, forgiveness, love and loneliness. I felt like I had experienced the whole world. I realized that's just how life is as a space explorer, and I love it that way. In the end, we didn't just explore the mysteries of the universe. We explored the depths of our hearts, the resilience of the human and alien spirit, and the bridges of understanding that can be built across cosmic divides. In the vast expanse of space, no matter how far we go, we are never truly alone. Back on Earth, I was no longer just an explorer, but a man who learned to navigate not just the stars, but also the intricate constellations of emotions and relationships. And Zoc, the alien who made me laugh when I wanted to cry, who made me see hope in the heart of despair, had become my best friend in the truest sense.